Today I'll be reading The Velveteen Rabbit by Margery Williams. I'm just going to find the right page. There was once a Velveteen Rabbit, and in the beginning he was really splendid. He was fat and bunchy, as a rabbit should be. His coat was spotted brown and white. He had real thread whiskers, and his ears were lined with pink satin. On Christmas morning, when he sat wedged in the top of the boy's stocking with a sprig of holly between his paws, the effect was charming. There were other things in the stocking, nuts and oranges and a toy engine and chocolate, almonds and a clockwork mouse, but the rabbit was quite the best of all. For at least 2 hours the boy loved him, and then aunts and uncles came to dinner, and there was a great rustling of parcels, and in the excitement of looking at all new presents, the Velveteen Rabbit was forgotten. For a long time he lived in the toy cupboard or on the nursery floor, and no one thought very much about him. He was naturally shy and beginning only made of velveteen. Some of the more expensive toys quite naturally snubbed him. What's that word?
Try it.
Mechanical.
Try again. Is it mechanical?
Yeah, mechanical toys were very superior and looked down upon everyone else. They were full of modern ideas and pretended they were real. The model boat, who had lived through 2 seasons and lost most of its paint, caught the tone from them and never missed an opportunity of the referring to his bringing and technical terms. The rabbit could not claim to be a model of anything, for he didn't know that real rabbits existed. He thought they were all stuffed toys, sawdust like himself, and he understood that sawdust was quite out of date and should never be mentioned in modern circles. Every Tim or Tahaya.
Even Timothy,
the jointed wooden lion who was made by the disabled soldiers and should have a broader views, but on airs.
Should have a what?
Views.
Broader views.
Put on airs and pretended he was connected with governments between them all. The poor little rabbit was made to feel himself very infected
Inferior?
No, it's not inferior.
Look. Insignificant.
Insignificant and complacent. Commonplace, and the only person who was kind to him at all was the skin horse. The skin horse had lived longer in the nursery than any of the others. He was old. He was so old that his brown coat was bowed in patches and showed the seams underneath, and most of the hairs in his tail had been pulled out to string bead necklaces. He was wise, for he had seen a long succession of mechanical toys, arrived to boats and swagger, and by break their mainsprings and pace away, and he knew that they were only toys and would never turn into anything else. For nursery magic, it is very strange and wonderful, and only those playthings that are old and wise and experienced like the skin horse, understand all about it. What is real? Asked the rabbit one day when they were lying side by side near the nursery fender before Nana came to tidy the room. Does it mean having things that buzz inside you and stick out handle? Really, isn't how you are made, said the skin horse. It's a thing that happens to you. When a child loves you for a long, long time just to play with, but really loves you when they become real. Doesn't it hurt?
Doesn't it hurt?
Yeah, does it hurt? Asked the rabbit. Sometimes, said the skin horse. No, sometimes, said the skin horse, for he was always truthful. When you are real, you don't mind being hurt. Does it happen all at once, like being wound up? He asked, or a bit by bit. It doesn't happen all at once, said the skin horse. It takes a long time. That's why it doesn't often happen to people who break easily or have sharp edged or who have to be carefully kept. Generally, by the time you are real, most of your hair has been loved of, and your eyes drop out, said, and you get loose in the joints and very shabby. Only on page 11. Oh, that's a nice feeling.
What's that?
The skin horse.
Oh, isn't the boy playing with him?
Yeah, but the rabbit's thinking. Oh no, the skin horse is thinking about it. You like hold it up. He hasn't got many patches. I can't even see the patches. But these things don't matter at all, because once you are real, you can't be ugly, except to people who don't understand. I suppose you are real, said the rabbit, and then he wished he had not said it, for he thought the skin horse might be sensitive. But the skin horse only smiled. I just can't help it because it's so nice. The boy's uncle made me real, he said. That was a great many years ago. But once you are real, you can't become unreal again. It lasts for always. The rabbit sighed. He thought it would be a long time before this magic called real happened to him. He longed to become real, to know what it felt like, and yet the idea of growing shabby and losing his eyes and whiskers was rather sad. He wished that he could become real without these uncomfortable things happening to him. There was a person called Nana who ruled the nursery sometimes. No, sometimes she took no notice of the playthings lying about, and sometimes for no reason, wherever she went, swooping about like a great wind, and hustled them away in cupboards. She called this tidying up, and the playing things all hated it, especially the tin ones. The rabbit didn't mind it so much, for whenever he was thrown, he came down soft. What does that say? Evening, when the boy was going to bed, he couldn't find the china dog that always slept with him. Nana was in a hurry, and I read too much.
Yeah, finished?
Mm-hmm.